Good morning and welcome to Krista's So Crafty. My name is Krista. I really appreciate you being here today. So today I'm going to be making a little honeybee pot is what I'm calling it. Just taking a terracotta plant pot and I'm going to hot glue some of this jute around it. Now this jute is fairly small. You can use whatever size, jute or rope you have. But I'm going to use this and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to glue this all the way around the pot up to that little, what is it, like a 1/2 inch, 1 inch piece on the top. I also once in a while will take the pot as I'm gluing that strip of jute around on the bottom. I will take the pot and set it down onto the desktop there so that just to make sure that the rope isn't going down too low, so that it doesn't become wobbly on the counter or the table. You want it to have a nice flat surface. This does take a fair amount of hot glue, but the end result is worth it. You could also use like an E6000 or a different type of glue. I just thought that the hot glue would be a more instant fix, I guess, or an instant solution to having this jute put on here. The jute that I'm using, I purchased at Dollarama, and I think it was like $4 or something like that for that roll. There are different sizes, absolutely. I know on another project that I did last week, you may have seen it. It's the taking a glass jar and changing it into repurposing it into like a pencil holder or a paintbrush holder. But in that one, I used a wider jute and it worked great. The benefit of that is that it doesn't take near as long to put together. When I got to the top of the plant pot, I took the jute and I cut it on an angle. So what that does is it reduces the amount of bulk that you're going to be gluing down at the end, and it just helps it to, blend in more seamlessly. So again, I just took my scissors, cut it on an angle, and then I just applied some hot glue and pushed it down. At this point, we can now start adding the jute on the front to start making the hole where the bees will go in and out of. I'm going to use my hot glue gun again, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down, put the jute down, and just slowly make it into the size of the circle that I want. You can make it whatever size you like, but I'm going to make it, it's about 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide. I just had a thought that if you were not able to find any jute or couldn't find any size jute that you wanted, you could possibly use like a worsted weight yarn, a thicker yarn, and just glue it on as well. If you found a brown colored wool, then I think that would give the illusion of the beehive, the color of the beehive. So as I continue on with making the entrance to the beehive, when I get to the point where I think I'm going to have enough jute on there, I take my scissors and again I'm going to cut the jute on an angle, and this will help for the jute to lay down nice and neat. And just smooth it out with your fingers to help those little flyaway pieces just get tucked in so that they're not quite so messy. Here I'm just using a Sharpie marker. It's like a Jiffy marker. It's a permanent marker in black, and this is going to help create the illusion that there's depth in the middle of the beehive, so to speak. So I'm just taking the Jiffy marker and I'm just coloring the jute inside the circle. Now you could absolutely use black paint. I've done that before with acrylic paint, absolutely will work, but I just figured I had the Jiffy marker, so I would use that. So here comes the fun part. I always think decorating something that you've made is kind of the fun part. It's like the finishing touches, so to speak. I have these little wire snips, and I'm going to take and cut off that wire piece that's on there and get up as close as I can to the flower, because I want this to lay as flat as I can on the on the bee pot, not the flower pot. But so I just cut that off really close, and I'm going to put it just up and kind of to the left of the hole. I just want it to, I don't know, I probably could have used a smaller sunflower, but you know what? Sometimes it's a matter of using what you have. So here is where I decided that the leaves were going to be hidden by the sunflower, so I cut the leaves off the little join that they were connected with, and I'm going to glue them on separately. So again, I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to adhere the flower onto the pot. As you can see, I've taken the leaves now and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on them, and I'm going to glue them in just behind the flower so that you can see the leaves. I like the placement of the leaves. It gives it a more realistic look to the end result. So here I have these little tiny bees I found at the Dollarama. They're in a package of, I don't know, I think there's like 30 or 40 in the package. So I have enough little bees I could make many of these little plant pot thingies. But on the backs of them, there is a little sticker with like a foam pad. I didn't want that on there. I wanted the glue to be stuck to the bee and not to the foam pad. So I peeled off that little foam pad off of each one of these. Now I've laid the bees out kind of how I want them on the honey pot. And so now I'm going to just use this little Jiffy marker to help hold the pot straight for me so it doesn't roll. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of each one of these little bees and stick them down. I think the bee on the flower was a good idea. It makes it, you know, he's going in to get the pollen and do his thing. And then just put some more of these bees all the way around the pot. And again, its placement is not, you know, exact. You can put them however you like, wherever you like. You can put however many bees you like. It's totally up to you. And there we go. It's all done. I think it just turned out so adorable. These bees absolutely made it what it is. It's perfect. So this honeybee plant pot is a project that you can do. And realistically, I mean, this took me maybe less than an hour to do. So it's a fun little project. Now this would be a really cute little housewarming gift. If you had spider plants at home, just take off one of the baby spiders and plant it in there. I really enjoyed making this little pot. I think it turned out so cute, and these little bees are just perfect. They made the pot. I want to thank you again for joining me today. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click on the little bell notification. And here's a couple more videos for you to look at while you're waiting for me to upload my new video. Happy crafting!